Halo, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi menjelang mau ke siang ya, para viewers. Kembali lagi bersama saya Yudi, channel Ayot X. Kali ini kita akan bermain trek-trekan ya, main santai dulu. Karena nanti jam setengah dua mau pergi, jadi gabut ya. Oke, kita langsung saja. Gaskeun. Oke, pressure baru dinyalain ya. Aman sih. Tuh, dulu kita cari pengiriman orangnya sih. Ah, ini for tips, for lift ya. 41.000, ini 20.000. Karena plus 3.300. Nah, ke Southampton. Southampton udah dijelajahi belum ya? Southampton, oh udah. Yang tadi yang bintang ini Nuremberg. Nuremberg itu di sini daerah Jerman. Nuremberg man, ini kayaknya nih. Yap, Nuremberg belum ya. Oke, kita jadi pilihannya sini aja. Nah, Nuremberg ya. Oke, let's go. Pengiriman pertama ya. Ke lokasi towernya dulu.
And he ensured we didn't have any that shouldn't happen. And my mother, more importantly, had a Yorkshire. From Yorkshire, well, several teachers who had exactly the same pass and power.
Yeah.
And the irony is they used to read the Bible at the same time that he was sacked. Because in the Bible there were several
Have
times
arrived
that
at
the
your
word
destination.
exists, and I wasn't allowed to say, I had to say path. But I once barring path, so I got an extra smack for cheek. So I do know what it is to, and I think it's extremely complex. I think there's a psychology and a politics behind this, which has been established. A campaign, if you like, to ensure that specific accent is respected more, and I don't agree with that.
Oke,
And I
ini dia
remember
tower.
when I was young, 14, and I was asked to go and write
Kelihatan
a
ini.
poem, and I saying, well, she has a London accent, which I was feeling had. As you said, when I have a glass of champagne and I go drink it.
Many people do.
That's who we really are in terms of our being.
Oke, let's go. Inilah ya, pengiriman pertama.
Yeah. It's familiar.
others as well that have obviously perhaps been to Iran or wherever, and they've got a very nice RP accent. Some guys, very good RP accent. Often, if they're asked to play roles that aren't posh roles, so they're not classical roles, they will revert, and they have to do a regional accent. They will revert to the accent they had as a child, and that's the one that they'll always choose. Yeah, absolutely. I'm talking to you, Jazz. This says, I think you care to know how somebody sounds. What's important is what they have to say. People can sound posh and talk rubbish.
Get ready
Johnson, for
to turn
example.
left. Turn
And
left.
talk with sense, like Billy Connolly, as an example. Absolutely, Ray. I've noticed over the last few years that both my children and the taking a slight American accent and choice of American words due to exposure to American TV programs and YouTube. Don't get me going on that. Don't get me going on kids. Honestly, I've come across that as well. There was a little kid with her parents in a hotel I was in a couple of weeks ago. Clearly they were English parents. They're very, very good. They were just about to get into the lift, and the little kid, must have been 4 or 5, said, "Mommy, are we getting in the elevator?" Oh, goodness me. If I was that child, or American media, whatever the large tablet was that she was carrying, I mean, come on. My younger girl, that says James in Candy Island, who is 7, will naturally say tomato for tomato, and gas station for petrol station, and candy for sweets. You can't be having that. You really can't. But of course, these are kids that know tons and tons of American programs without having any English accent antidote. I'm sure it's something to go to, because it's one of my hobby horses. And that's it. I'll be back with you tomorrow at 1. If you missed any of today's show, you can listen back and catch up on Global Player, the official LBC app. You can also rewind live radio. Download now for free from your app store, or you can head to
right.
globalplay.com. Still to come at 7 on LBC. Stick around. Right now, what are you paying? It's fan? Say again. Grammys fan? No, not really.
Shall I test your Grammys knowledge? New bands?
You can do it.
There's just one question. How do you pronounce this artist? Ready? In capital letters. S for sugar, Z for zebra, A for apple, S for Z-A.
Scissor. Is it?
I've just been schooled by he understands it. Scissor, S-Z-A. It's like that. The best party you've ever been to.
My friend David's wedding, he was already presented at the end of it. We're flying fireworks into the sky with tires, jingles, and drums.
Nice. Yes. What's the best party you've ever been to? Because the Vogue one last week sounded so seasonal.
On Global Player and
LBC.
leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC.
From Global's newsroom at the National Crime Agency has joined the search for a suspected chemical attacker who injured 9 people in South London. On Sunday, police offered a £20,000 reward for information leading to Abdullah Zaini's capture. LBC's Guy Stewart has more.
Detectives have also been able to tell us the substance that injured them was a very strong, concentrated, corrosive alkali, the kind of one you might expect in a strong drain-cleaning product. 3 people who rushed to help and also got injured have been released from hospital, so have the 5 police officers.
Police have also warned against harbouring Abdullah Zaini, who was granted asylum to the UK in 2020 after converting to Christianity despite a sexual offence conviction. US Central Command says more airstrikes have been carried out against Houthi rebels attacking shipping from Yemen. They took place on Sunday, focusing on 4 anti-ship cruise missiles. Washington says they were prepared to launch against vessels in the Red Sea. Rail passengers will face more disruption in some parts of the country today because of continuing industrial action by train drivers over pay and conditions. As left members at Chiltern, Great Western Railway and Cross Country will be on strike, leading to widespread cancellations. A relative of a 68-year-old woman mauled to death by 2 dogs in Essex is being questioned by police on suspicion of dangerous dog offences. Police are trying to identify the animal's breed after they were destroyed in Jaywick. Chief Superintendent Glenn Pavlin has been praising community members for their actions.
I would also like to thank local people who tried to get into the house to help Esther Martin. You should be proud. I know there's speculation about the breed of the dogs involved. We will establish the facts and we will keep the community of Jaywick updated.
The Prime Minister is due to meet his Irish counterpart and have meetings with the new leaders of the Northern Ireland Executive during a visit to Belfast today. Sinn Féin's Michelle O'Neill made history over the weekend, becoming the first nationalist to take up the office of First Minister. And Taylor Swift has added a 13th Grammy Award to her already existing collection. She's won the prize for the Best Pop Vocal Album with the LP Midnights.
LBC Weather.
With Ripple Energy, climate action you can be proud of.
Wintry rain will continue in Scotland during Monday, cloudy elsewhere with drizzle in the west and a high in some areas of 12 degrees. From Global's newsroom, for LBC, I'm Tim Daly.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Ian Payne.
Dun, dun, dun. Good morning. Welcome to the start of a brand new week. It's 3 minutes past 4. The boys are in the house. Luke's on drums. He's schooling me about some of these awards at the Grammys, like SZA and SOS. Apparently has won. No idea what that stands for. I can think of a good version and a rude version. But anyway, it's up to you. Fred's on lead vocals. And Aaron on a Monday is in because it is, of course, a Monday. Good afternoon. Aaron's going to be very excited about the Formula One season, which is about to start again. What do you think of Lewis Hamilton moving to Ferrari? Pardon? Bad for Ferrari. Enough unfair. Anyway, that's all coming up. So much to talk about. I really don't know where to start. I would, because it's a sort of breaking news story, I feel obliged to mention it and keep you up to date with it. But I'll have to say that, you know, my musical knowledge these days when it comes to the Grammys is fairly kind of low-hanging fruit, I'm afraid. But I mean, I'll go through some of the winners because, as I say, it's breaking news story and it's happening all the time. I'm not sure whether the listenership, I don't want to be too narrow here, but I'm not sure whether the listenership of this particular radio show at this particular time for insomniacs and weirdos like myself is actually going to appeal to people who like the kind of songs that are winning at the Grammys. But hey, you know, we'll do what we can and let you know. So I'll just give you a brief highlights of what happened. Dua Lipa was brilliant, as always, with her opening medley of her songs to get things going. Jay-Z's been a bit controversial. He won, then got up on stage and moaned about the fact that his wife Beyonce didn't win enough. She's won 23, Jay-Z, for God's sake, man. Taylor Swift has announced a new album. This is what tends to happen. Album of the year was hold on a minute. These are all the categories so far. So in terms of winners, Billie Eilish, What Was I Made For? I think that's the Barbie song, isn't it? That was Song of the Year. Best solo performance, Miley Cyrus, Flowers. It's all women, really, this year. The big winners are women. And the best pop duo group performance, the winner, SZA, S-Z-A, all heard of them, featuring Phoebe Bridgers' Ghost in the Machine. The best pop vocal album, Taylor Swift, Midnights. You see what I mean? I don't know what these songs are, and I'm struggling to go. If we could, I'd be able to do that. So let me turn to the subject, which is a bit. The other thing was Miley Cyrus's hair. What do we call it? It's the sort of hair my mum always used to have. I'll be honest. It's one of those bouffants. There's a picture of my mum. It's her best picture, apart from her wedding picture of her children, obviously. But the one she'll admit to secretly when you talk to her is her and what Princess Diana, as she was, at some charity thing in Basingstoke that my mum was hosting. And what you noticed about it more than anything else, not just the fact that Diana is just so elegant. Indeed, my mum was elegant as I've ever seen.
Aduh, anak penulisan jalan aku bro.
That they both had. 1980s haircuts were so beautiful. You wouldn't believe. Just have a look at like an Egyptian, you know, that band, what were they called? Sarah Hoffs. Oh, honestly, huge huge hair, huge shoulders, and Miley Cyrus has gone all huge hair.
Bentar ya.
I have to say, I saw Miley Cyrus in a new light when I saw that Black Mirror episode of hers the other day, in which she plays a pop star who's been controlled by her management by drugs and all sorts of things, and all she wants to do is play heavy metal, thrash metal, which she does at the end. And I have to say, I take my hat off it because she's a great actor. So anyway, I'll keep you up to date with all those sort of things going on. But first of all, I want to start with something, and I thought this will make a great... Sometimes you see something and you think, this will make a great subject to talk about on the radio on Monday or Tuesday or wherever, particularly over the weekend. Now I've been refreshed and filled up with fitness again over the weekend, going spinning. And my bike died yesterday, though. My bike, which has been with me now for quite a long time, finally went. The chain finally said, enough! And I couldn't, every time I put my foot on the pedal, it broke. So I got overexcited yesterday and have ordered myself a rather expensive bicycle to replace it. And no, I'm not telling you how much it is. But anyway, let's just say it's carbon fibre, it's 24 gears, and it's just wonderful. And if you're into bikes, you'll love and want to talk about it. And if you're not, you'll just think, oh, you're such a bike bore. All right, I won't go on about it, but it is just lovely. It's called an Air Rocket. Anyway, we'll see how that goes, and we'll see if carbon fibre, even with my excess weight, does allow me to go up hills without being overtaken by 8-year-olds, which has been the case for quite some time. Let us move on and talk about this. So sometimes you see a subject and you go, that would be a brilliant subject because everyone's got a story about that. So I thought, okay, but how do I get a peg, what we call a news peg? You need to have something happening on the day or very, very recently that allows you to say, this has happened, what about you? Okay. So I was reading the Sunday Times yesterday, and the Sunday Times does some wonderful sort of review of the week type stories, and I loved this one. So this is what they call the very cheeky champagne-fueled farewell to Vogue House. Now, Vogue is obviously a very, very famous magazine, and Anna Wintour, you know, with the bob fringe and the sunglasses, and she's always everywhere, and apparently she's still going out with Bill Nye. Anyway, she came over from New York to London not to say farewell to Vogue, but Vogue were moving house. Vogue House has always been in Mayfair, and it's moving to somewhere else, not, you know, that's very posh, but they're having to move for whatever reason. And what you heard about was the legendary Vogue parties. If you've ever been to the Vogue party, my God, I want to hear from you. What are they like? And it sounded though, like all things in life now are getting tamer. There's a Ford, by the way, in Nottinghamshire. Have you seen this story? This is just another example of how life, like parties, are getting more safeguardy and calmer. So there's a ford, i.e. a river, but you have to cross it on a road. It crosses a road and you have to drive through it in Nottingham, a place called Rufford, if you know Nottingham. It's celebrated. People come from all over the world to have a look at people trying to drive through this ford to see whether their car can make it or not. And this bloke has become a specialist. I can't remember his name. He's actually put together clips online of people trying to get through, and people turn up. It's like a spectator sport. And 99% of them get through, but some don't, and they're the ones that are posted online. He said he spent 2 whole days filming for 6 minutes worth of content, i.e. 6 minutes worth of cars not making it. Now, the other day, this has been going on for a year, how many hits do you think he's had on this over the years? How many hits? How many people have looked at these videos, do you think, over the few years that he's been doing it? 40 million. 40 million people. I'd never heard of it, but apparently it's a tourist attraction. I thought, I love tourist attractions that are unusual, like the trees in Northern Ireland that they're thinking of cutting down. And here's another example. The police have suddenly said a motorcyclist fell off in the Ford and broke his leg because he was trying to get through it. So we're going to close it down because it's not safe. And you're thinking, thousands of people get through it. There's a few that don't. Just allow a little bit of danger in our lives, please. But now they're shutting that down as well. So I think we should start a campaign online. Keep our Ford open or something like that. So if you do live in Rufford, or you do know this Ford, I want to hear from you as well. If you've been to a legendary party, I want to hear from you as well. Before I tell you about the greatest party I ever went to, in fact, I might do that after the headlines. Let me just read you a little bit more about this legendary Vogue party, the Bangles. Yes, thank you very much indeed. Did Bucks Fizz win anything at those Grammy things? Exactly, that's the kind of comment I would expect from our listenership, because Bucks Fizz is something that we all remember. Do you remember Scooch? The people that dressed up as cabin crew and appeared on... I mean, it was about as camp as you get.
at Eurovision, and that's saying something when you consider some of the stuff that we've seen. So I want to know from you, the bicycle is what? A Victorian mode of transport and should be confined to museums. Mate, it's not for getting from A to B, it's for keeping fit and having fun and feeling amazing. There's nothing better. Even though I had a disastrous bike ride, I did my spinning class, me and just lots and lots of girls. There are no men. I'm the only man in the class. It's a bit embarrassing. You'd say, oh, that would be brilliant. No, it's really not. You know, it's a bit like you're very embarrassed. You keep your head forward. We're facing a mirror, so sometimes you're going to catch sight of a girl sweating and you feel guilty for looking. So life has got completely different. It's all part of this safeguarding world we're in. You're not allowed to look at people. You're not allowed to talk at people. You're certainly not to touch anybody, particularly of the opposite sex. So here's another example of how things have calmed down. And when I heard about this party in Vogue, I just thought, yes, why can't we get, just every so often, we have an Animal House type party. Google it. It's an old film. That's what we need. We need stuff like this. So the Condé Nast magazine empire said farewell to its iconic Vogue House office in Mayfair with a champagne-fueled soirée that saw staff dance a hole in the ceiling. They danced so hard that a bit of the ceiling fell down in the floor below and a hole appeared in the floor. That's a party. Everybody was taking pictures of themselves on the photocopier. One legendary party, there was a woman. She was the fashion editor, so she was like number 2 to Anna Wintour. And she was photocopying parts of her private part, and she had to leave. God, no, you'd never get near a photocopier now, would you? I can't even imagine. I don't think we even had a Christmas party last year, did we? I honestly don't think we had one. We occasionally have drinks and stuff, and it's nice. And we actually have a kind of galleria upstairs on the top floor, which is fantastic in summer, freezing at the moment, where you can look across the vista of London. And the London, I don't know about you, but I'd much prefer a landscape looking out my window of London or a beautiful city rather than the sea. It's just me. And you get some lovely views up there, but I don't think we've ever had I can't remember. So anyway, the editor-in-chief Anna Wintour visited Vogue House on Thursday and cracked open the bubbly as the Condé Nast staff marked their final day in the Mayfair office after 65 years. This is what I love. So apparently what happened was there was no announcement of this party. There was no group email like you might get in Partygate with Party Marty. This was actually a party that was cool because it was never advertised. And if you knew about it, it was all just word of mouth. So the sort of things that happened, they went next door to Claridge's, which is a really posh hotel here in Mayfair. And they were all, you know, having a ridiculously priced afternoon tea with lots of alcohol in it. And then rumours went round of a party beginning on the 4th floor in Vogue House on Thursday. So people started dribbling out of, and they were going out to the floor, and I gather that the people were buying champagne at Claridge's, God knows how much that cost, putting them into buckets, which had been lowered from the 4th floor via ropes. The buckets were filled with champagne and ice and then hauled up to the 4th floor where the party began. Champagne buckets were seen descending from office windows as music erupted inside. Staff were dancing on tables, this is according to the Sunday Times, and moved so much that the floor collapsed. Younger staff were reportedly photocopying their bums, something we cannot condone. It's disgusting, and we need safeguarding and HR to sort out the buttock printing. All right? Thank you. Just so you know. We don't approve, we don't condone, in case Ofcom are listening. Younger staff were reportedly photocopying their bums during the event, said one eyewitness, which one insider hailed as the best party I've ever been to. The employee told the Sunday Times the event was like a Bridget Jones office party, but cooler, and felt like what the office must have been like in the 90s heyday. Voguettes. Have you heard of them? Voguette. Every girl wants to be a Voguette, apparently. It's like The Devil Wears Prada. You seen that film with Anne Hathaway? Brilliant and just superbly done. Younger staff were reported. Voguettes visited the 7th floor rooftop to snap photos at sunset, and teens were seen posing for pics outside the Vogue House doors. Others left messages scrawled on door frames. Brilliant graffiti. Including one insider who wrote of the legendary fashion empire, 1 million girls would kill for this job. Staff members were also treated to sweets. It began on Wednesday and continued on till Thursday. It's just legendary. What's the best party you've ever been to and why. My old friend Mark Pugatch, who does the ITV Sport now, and rugby and the football, he and I used to work together at the BBC, and he said, I said, what kind of, we had one of those sort of evenings where you're talking about life and what you've learned. I said, what have you learned about life? He said, never own, and so on, let me get this right, do him justice. What have you learned in life? Only leave a party when you're having fun. Never stay too long. And this, to me, is the perfect thing. And after this short break, I'll tell you about the best party I ever went to and why, and then I'll take your stories. It's 4:17.
This is LBC.
If you've been injured in an accident at work, you could be entitled to thousands of pounds in compensation. Talk to Harris Fowler today. For over 25 years, we've helped people who've been injured at work, in a warehouse, a factory, on site, or anywhere. With a 94% success rate, call the award-winning Harris Fowler now. 0800 213 214. It's no win, no fee, no risk. Harris Fowler, the personal injury solicitor.
Sounds like someone's lowered prices with their Tesco Club card. Like a 9-pack of Kit Kats, now just £1.50, down from £2. With Tesco Club card, everyone can feel the to lower prices. Tesco, every little helps. Majority of larger stores ends 27th of February. Club card or app required.
Hi all.
Hiya.
How are we doing?
Afternoon.
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 Let's get this meeting.
Meeting.
Meeting started.
Hi, Mum.
Where's the tablet gone?
When everyone's home, EE Work Mode prioritizes your broadband for working from home with the UK's fastest major broadband provider. So...
Yeah, I've got you loud and clear as a bell.
This is broadband made for working from home. Search EE Broadband, powered by BT.
Work Mode with EE Smart Hub Plus. To verify, see ee.co.uk/claims.
EasyJet's Big Orange Sale ends tonight with up to £400 off package holidays. But hurry, these deals won't be around for long. Search EasyJet Holidays. Selected dates up to the 31st of October 2025. Book by 11 p.m. the 5th of February 2024. Holidays minimum spend required. ATOL protected. T's and C's apply.
This is LBC with Ian Payne.
So, news of, or details of the legendary return to Vogue outrageous parties have emerged over the weekend. Vogue moved offices, and as a result, they decided to have a party to look back at all the legendary years they'd had in the Vogue office building, which is right next to Claridge's in Mayfair, the hotel. Went on for 2 days, basically. Started on Wednesday, but it really kicked off on Thursday afternoon when employees from Claridge's delivered a trolley loaded with champagne, sweets and burgers to Vogue House. Word of mouth got round and people started turning up from all over the place to join in. And as I say, the party got so out of control. Buckets of champagne were hauled up to the 4th and 7th floor, and there was graffiti. People were photographing themselves on the photograph, all that stuff that you do that you're not allowed to do anymore. So here we are with my favourite party and the best night that I ever had, okay? So it was the 40th birthday party of Simon Jordan. Simon Jordan is now a broadcaster, sports broadcaster, but he became a very rich man by selling mobile phones and decided to use all that money and throw it away by buying a football club and becoming the CEO of Crystal Palace, his beloved side. And, in the end, unfortunately, it didn't work out, but my God, he had fun while he did it. And we were in the middle of it. So his 40th birthday party, my wife and I were invited. I turned up, and we were invited to the Thames, where was it? Down by the Tower of London. So we turned up at the Thames by the Tower of London. We all got shepherded onto this beautiful boat with music playing and lights and the rest of it, all and drinks on the deck. And we thought, well, this is lovely. Anyway, suddenly there was this announcement that said, ladies and gentlemen, would you please gather downstairs on the dance floor and club level. Thank you. So we thought, this is interesting. So we went downstairs, and there was this beautiful sort of nightclub decked out. And I thought, what's happening here? And then again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for convening. Stool Pigeon from King Creole and the Coconuts, and they appeared live. wanted to say the Gorgeous Coconuts did appear live just for us 80 people on this boat. And we thought, that's fantastic. So we eventually got to the place where we were going to have the club and the night and the birthday. And we got out and, ladies and gentlemen, please look to the skies. So we looked up, and the whole of London was lit up with this amazing sort of New Year's Eve firework display just for Simon Jordan. God knows how much of that cost. How did he get permission to do it? You'd never be allowed to do it in this day and age of safeguarding. So then he said, ladies and gentlemen, please enter the door behind you. Thank you. So we all went into this door, and we were in a nightclub, and there was all the rest. And we were all, and it was brilliant for me because they're all the people, all the ex-Palace players that I'd known and seen, and Ian Wright and people like that were there. All the Neil Warner, all the managers that he'd been through, all the kind of arguments were forgotten, and the gossip was amazing. I was learning so much stuff about behind the scenes and laughing and laughing. And while I was doing this, suddenly I heard another, ladies and gentlemen, the specials.
This
Simon, it's just honestly, I don't know what to say. He said, you can't go now. I said, why not? Well, ladies and gentlemen, Brian Ferry. So there he was, and Brian Ferry came on. Now, he couldn't stay for his whole set, obviously, but, I mean, what a party. Seriously, always leave a party when you're having fun. Rule of thumb. Unlike the night I went to the Firm Disco on the Algarve, but I'm not going there. All right? Let's just say I had a bit of self-loathing the next day, and I thought I was going to drown in bubble bath. What's the best? I'll tell you the best thing about that story was I'm queuing to get into the. We go there too early. We go in at midnight, and there's nobody in the club. And I said to the guy behind the DJ, I said, what's going on? He said, well, the phone doesn't start until 3. So I said, shall we come back? He said, I would. So we went away and started queuing again at 2:30. And I'm behind a guy who's wearing flippers, swimming trunks, goggles, and a snorkel. And I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, excuse me. He went, what? I said, is this the Foam Disco? Is this the right place? What do you think? He said, dressed up in full underboard gear. 4:25. Phil's in Crewe. You want to talk about going through Rufford Ford? Hi.
I used to drive a petrol tanker, and I've been through that Ford and I went through it a bit quick one day.
What's the speed limit?
30 miles per hour.
What were you doing, Philip?
I was 30 miles an hour.
You say that, but were you?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you'd have to see the road.
Yeah.
It's a 40-foot-ton tanker.
Good lad.
But I went through the motorway that big and it nearly washed all the people off the bridge.
You wouldn't be allowed to do that now, would you? Safeguarding. Yeah.
But I watched them doing it because I used to live not too far.
Yeah, I gather it's a spectator sport. It's like sitting at the edge of the TT races and being knocked over by a bike at 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, well, it's the thing to do on a Sunday afternoon.
Is it?
Down to Woodford, yeah.
I've never heard of this place.
People going through it, you think, how on earth do you expect a BMW to go through that kind
They're the worst. The guy that's been filming it for 5 years says they're the worst. The Beamers are the worst to get through. But there was one day, again, the river wasn't in flood because it's a no-brainer. Don't go through it while you've got floods going on, but go through it when it's a bit lower. And it showed this Maserati, fairly low-slung machine. He only comes up to my knee. Got through, and the cheers were amazing. Everyone was thinking, he'll never get through. It was like that car in the James Bond film. He'll never get through. It's got to be a submersible. But no, it did get through. So you would recommend that?
Well, it's a good fun to go and watch. I wouldn't recommend you doing it with your private
science. We just want to see people drown. You know, I did a little bit. You lost me at Biosphere or whatever you said. But anyway, yeah, that's fantastic. And the best party you've ever been to, or the best advice?
You know what? I don't think I've ever been to a good party.
What?
No, I've always been a stay.
How old are you?
64.
Right, so you must remember, you know, early 90s and raves.
No.
You never went to a rave, acid house, anything, Cream in Liverpool.
No, I was married at 21.
Ah. Didn't your wife like to, have a little bit of a
No, I was married
boogie?
at 21 and had a big thumbprint on my head.
Are you still together?
No.
Sorry, mate, I didn't mean to laugh. Seriously.
It's all right, I do now.
Nice one. Nice to speak to you, Phil. Have a good one.
All right.
There's
Speak
goes
soon.
Phil.
Bye.
If you've been through the Ford at Rufford, I want to hear from you. But we're talking about safeguarding. We're also talking about the best party you've ever been to. Steve's in Stroud. Ian, that motorbiker at the Ford hit the water at about 45 miles an hour. He was lucky to only break his leg. I swear people have lost all common sense these days. I'm just a firm believer in not reckless danger. I mean, not, you know, those people who what are they called when they just jump off sheer cliff faces near the Eiger or in Switzerland? Base jumpers. What? No, I'm not talking about that. Things where you're going to die if you're not careful. And, you know, all they want to do is just get on TikTok. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about things where it's not like life-threatening, but it's just a little bit edgy. Don't you think? I'm not a rock climber, or, you know, I don't want to ski down a glacier or anything like that. I just occasionally think that something like this, just leave it alone. You know, if people are stupid enough to drive through a ford that they know that the river has flooded and the ford is at least 5 feet deep, well, more fool you, to be honest. But, you know, as they say, I like to watch. I'd rather be there to watch it than to film it, rather than to actually do it. That's all. Is that okay? Are you on something, Ian? What's going on? I don't know. It's a Monday, and I don't know. I'm always refreshed on a Monday. Try me again on Wednesday or Thursday. Could be a much more dopey show because of everything. The most memorable party I ever attended was Danny Featherstone's 15th. Because I got with his sister Melissa. All right. And what happened after that? I'd like to know the deeds, please. It's the first party I went to I actually kissed someone. And I remember we were dancing to the Commodores, 3 Times a Lady. And it was at a bar dance or something. So we had this sort of stop. And anyway, I was after it, so I said, what are you so happy about? And I said, see that girl Katie, she's wonderful. And the guy said to me, her name's not Katie, she's giving you a false name. I never saw her again. And speaking of the Commodores, can I recommend something that I saw on Netflix over the week? Lionel Richie, who I think is the best host for a live event I've ever seen. He was doing the American Academy, sort of American Music Awards back in whatever date it was, Live Aid, that kind of time. And he was then asked to try and get together all the famous singers from America to sing on We Are the World. We Are the World. It's the American version of Live Aid. And he did do it eventually, but some of the stories that came out of that famous night, when he got everybody, Bruce Springsteen and Michael Jackson and, oh God, Kenny Loggins and well, you know, every type of musician you could possibly want. And he got them all together, and it was very, very funny. So, for example, let me give you a couple of stories. It's called The Greatest Night in Pop, if you want to watch it. It's on Netflix, and it's just the logistics of trying to get all those people together on one night. I mean, it's unbelievable. So anyway, so they're singing We Are the World, and apparently Paul Simon turns to someone next to him and says, because everybody from the world of pop is there, he says, wow, if someone drops a bomb on this studio, John Denver's back on top. He suggested. Again, this is all lost band. People look at me and go, I don't know what you're talking about, Payne. Yeah. And, so they do a tribute to Harry Belafonte, who's there. Harry Belafonte. He's basically kind of like a hero to every musician, particularly black musician, because everything he's done with civil rights abuse. And Stevie Wonder. Ray Charles says, where's the toilet? Ray Charles, sort of blind was blind musician, and obviously.
Background ininya remove aja. Lag coy.
US Central Command says more airstrikes have been carried out against Houthi rebels attacking shipping from Yemen. They took place on Sunday, focusing on 4 anti-ship cruise missiles. And rail passengers will face more disruption in some parts of the country later because of continuing industrial action by train drivers over pay and conditions. Chiltern, Great Western Railway and cross-country routes will be experiencing widespread cancellations. LBC weather, wintry rain will continue in Scotland during Monday, cloudy elsewhere with drizzle in the west and a high of 12 degrees.
This is LBC.
You want a loan for your business, Mr. Barrett?
That's the plan.
No problem. Simply fill out this form J9732P.
On it.
And form RSVP. Form SMH. And form BTW. TT. Oh, goodbye, Mr. Barrett.
Not all business loans sound like this. At iWalker, applications are as simple as ABC, and you'll get a decision ASAP. Visit iWalker. That's iwoca.co.uk. iWalker. Hassle-free loans for small businesses.
Are you an absolutely huge fonter or a zoom-inner? Perhaps you're an arm stretched out like a zombie when holding a newspaper. Or a holds a book so close you might as well be kissing it. At Specsavers, we get it. You don't want to admit it's time to become a glasses wearer. That's okay. We're ready to see you whenever you're ready to see properly. Book an eye test at specsavers.co.uk so you can see clearer. Okay, we'll stop with the ears now.
How can we make cancer research breakthroughs together? Every day we ideate, build, trial, learn, try again. We use virtual reality to understand tumours, revolutionise cancer diagnosis, and save countless lives. Set up a monthly donation to Cancer Research UK to help us outsmart cancer and keep us researching month in, month out. Visit cruk.org/monthly. Together, we are beating cancer.
Jimmy was chuffed with his new Italian scooter. However, he was even more chuffed that he bought it on his Barclay card. Because when things didn't quite go to plan, he had protection and could claim back on his purchase. You'll be up and running in no time, Jimmy. What you buy is your business. Giving you purchase protection is ours. Search Barclay Card Protection to find out more about how we protect your purchases. Barclay Card. Make money work for you. 28.9% representative APR variable. Subject to application, financial circumstances and borrowing history. T's and C's apply.
This is LBC with Ian Payne.
Just come up with a really good phoning idea, and I don't know whether or not it's too edgy to do. I'll float it, you can be the jury. I'll Google it, Google and people, throw it out there and say, so this guy is on the run. You know, the man, the acid attack, bitch, that's what we have to say, attacker, and the police still can't find out where he is. If you were trying to hide from the police, where would you go? How would you do it? Because this guy's recognisable. If he goes anywhere, he'll be recognised. How is he covering up his... He must be covering up his... He must be getting help, mustn't he? He must be... You know in Happy Valley, at the end, where Royce is trying to find somewhere to hide, and he cycles onto the Yorkshire moors, I think, and then he finds a house, and he's in a safe house. And that's the only way. You'd have to be in a safe house somewhere, because if you go anywhere in public with CCTV and him being an extremely recognisable person with those injuries to his face, there's no way he'd be able to hide, is there? Do you want to hear my joke? I'm thinking of getting a termite. I'm going to call it Clint. Clint Eastwood. Like it? Best party you've ever been to, Michael in Kent?
Good day.
Good day? Yeah, very good, thank you. A bit too wired, but okay.
No, it's great. I love you when
good. All right, yeah. Monday we need... Well, it's funny because Mondays is when I'm most relaxed and rested. Because because I've had time at my mum's, and it's not. Let's just say it's not Studio 54 in New York at my mum's. Let's just say that.
Well, I've been to many good parties. I'm really sad that 64-year-old chap who's never been to.
I know. Because he got married at 21 with a thumbprint on his.
Well, that might also had a party then. Well, I've got a few parties. I've been to a lot of parties.
I gather you have, Michael. So I was told. Yeah, go on. Tell us the ones you can talk about.
I'm going to with the language, okay? So
Yeah.
we went to one and there was a load of arts school students used to come down our local pub. There's a big pub, everybody met there.
Yeah.
So anyway, we went up there, I think it was in Kilburn, and we went to this flat, and well, just we were inside and we got around here. So I ended up sitting on one of the beds with your mate Desmond on bed, and we just sat around, and this bloke took his clothes off, and then the girl took their clothes off, and then everybody took their clothes off, and it turned into a robbery.
So you were at a swingers party, Michael, is what you're saying?
No, they weren't swingers.
And now you're going to claim to me you had no idea that this is how it would... Come on, Michael. You replied to the ad.
Sat on the end of the bed, yeah? Had no idea, right? Had no idea.
So what? I'll be the judge of what we censor or not, because we have to safeguard here as well. What happened next?
Me and my mate Tufty and Desmond jumped on the first train from Kilburn Station, the tube train, and went home.
Liar. Not true. Bluff.
No, that's true. But the best party I've ever been to.
Let me just let me go. Before you tell me that, just answer me one question. So you're at a party, everyone suddenly starts taking their clothes off, it becomes an orgy, so you leave.
No, we were just sitting there, and it was one of my mates,
Tufty.
He became engaged with a woman next door.
Right.
And
you had scrappy seconds. What happened to you?
No, I didn't have anything. I don't do something. And we just had to wait for him, and we put this woman backwards, go backwards. But we managed to lose her on the tube train. We don't know where she went.
You lost her on the tube. I think she probably sobered up and actually had a look at you boys.
Possibly.
Took the beer goggles off and went, oh, God. And then we lost her. Yeah?
It's the backstage after show party at Live Aid.
You were there?
Yeah, of course I was.
Oh, you've mentioned this before, haven't you? Yeah. Go on.
One of the...
Your elbow's in shot.
And then
You're like Pete the Pool Man. I'm a little pull for it. What do you mean? So, your claim to fame is at the Live Aid backstage party, there's a photo of your elbow.
Apparently so, yeah.
I love our listeners. You're so rock and roll, it's unbelievable.
And because I was working as a security there, yeah?
I know, yes.
There was no security, it went really well. But then I went and was basically adopted by the roadies. Because loads of other bands that didn't play with it as well. And the band that, the roadies that I went with Motorhead. And they know how hard they
it's like, have you ever seen that documentary about Motley Crue?
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, legendary, piano, not just televisions, grand pianos in swimming pools and things like that. But yeah, no, the best thing about Live Aid, the documentary about Live Aid, I'm sure you've seen it. It's a long 2-hour documentary, and it gets all the people who are involved together to give their views on things. And Midge Ure is still off with Bob Geldof because he switched his slot at the last moment. Well, Bob Geldof performed with the Boomtown Rats, and they've got one song, and then he tried to play some more Boomtown Rats songs, and everyone went, why don't you just do, I don't know, Mondays again and again, because it's the only one anyone's heard of. And apparently he was too... people in Africa. This is for the people in the West with money to help them. And at one point they try and introduce some African and Swahili, although what that's got to do with Ethiopia, I've no idea. And Waylon Jennings, who's a kind of good old boy from the South, he says, I'm not having this, and he walks out. He said, my fans won't accept me singing in Africa. So he walks out. It's a great show. If you love pop stories, it's a great one. Listen, Michael, as always, it's a fascinating conversation with you. What did we know about... Freddie was telling me, so just remind me about Noel Gallagher and Maradona. It was a legendary party. They met Maradona in a bar. They'd done a set. They went to a very smart club in Buenos Aires, Oasis. And then this entourage comes in, and in the middle of it, there's this little squat man, Maradona, who comes in. And good old Liam starts chatting to him and says something controversial or stupid. Maradona says he'll get them all shot if they're not careful. Now that's it. Liam Gallagher once claimed Diego Maradona threatened to shoot him when they met at a bar in Argentina. Members of Oasis had decided to go for a post-gig drink while on tour in South America. Liam, who's now 50, told Noisy, I don't know what that is, in 2017, I won't do the accent. We was in Argentina and we'd done a gig. Next minute, we're sat in the bar having a drink, and about 30 people come legging it in, like the Ant Hillmore. It's like the wacky races. Google it. We were going, that? Sting was at the bar crying because we had his dressing room had been robbed. Anyway, we found out it was Maradona, not Madonna. Maradona. He'd gone upstairs with a load of madheads, a load of women of the night, and we were going like, can we go up and meet him, to the interpreter? And the interpreter said, all right, cool, let me go and square it with them. He's gone up, came back later, and not only the Gallagher brothers can go up. So we were like, laters. We steamed up there, and there's loads of activity going on, and Maradona's in the middle of the room doing football tricks with a bottle top. And his eyes were like huge, and ours weren't far off. And I just went like, it's a bit moody in here, let's get a quick picture with him. And off. And he's sweating, he's off. And we turn around to the interpreter, and he says, he's told me to tell you, if you leave with any of these, he'll have you shot. Now that's a party. It's 4:45, time for In Other News.
Tonight, with Andrew Marr from 6 p.m, only on LBC.
In terms of the big political unknowns around the world, is the EU really committed to standing by Ukraine as the war goes on? And American politicians seem to be losing faith. Rio Terras, an Estonian MEP, if Russia actually won in Ukraine, Russia would turn and attack you next.
Well, this is always the possibility, and he has shown that every time he uses his military conventional power and he's successful, he goes third.
Tonight with Andrew Marr from 6 p.m. Listen on your radio and Global Player, the official LBC app. This is LBC.
Are you into worktops more than workouts? Kitchen islands more than tropical islands? Sounds like you've got a new kitchen on your mind. At Wix, we can design and install your dream kitchen. And now, there's up to 50% off appliances, worktops and installation when you buy a Wix Bespoke.
right. Go straight. Keep right. Keep left.
Waalaikumsalam. Assalamualaikum. Nanti siapa?
Keep right. And then exit
Hah?
right.
Oh,
Exit right.
kalian.
Keep right.
Itu Bu RW deh. Ngapain aja? Coba pakai ada yang mudah.
Keep left. Keep right. And then exit right.
Apa pemat?
Exit right.
Pertama mama di sana masih daftarnya di sana. Orang kakek aja.
And then turn
Jadi mama.
right. Turn right. Keep left. And then turn left. Turn left.
Sana.
Go straight.
Enak, enak.
Keep left. And then
Dibungkus.
turn left. Turn left. You have arrived at your destination.
Volvo mana ya Volvo? Ini
Get ready to turn right. Turn right. Go straight. Go straight.
nggak ada makanan tapi nggak bawa apa-apa. Bukan bawa apa-apa deh. Anjir. Hijau saya. Oh.
Keep right. And then turn right. Turn right. Go straight and then turn left. Turn left. Get ready to turn right. Turn right. You have arrived at your
Volvo truck, yes. Pak Volvo. Kita coba lihat truknya apa saja. Ini ya. Ini nggak begini coy. Ini kali ya. Iya ini. Sudah. Dan wow. Kan menarik gambarnya. Di yang Renault begitu. Tanjung Jatmia. Mana sih? Ah. Sip. Ambil. Apa guys? Oke guys. Oh. Oke. Sama. Ya, kayak baru. Kan.
Turn right. Get ready to turn right. Turn right. Turn right. You have arrived at your destination.
complaints.
Once again, Sky had the lowest number of complaints made to Ofcom for fixed-line broadband. To find out more, visit ofcom.org.uk. We're happy because you're happy.
Oh, hang on, though. Noisy eaters. They're annoying.
Sky. Believe in better.
Hey, you, with the hands at 10 and 2. Ever felt that nudge that your motor might need a little TLC? When it's time to go under the hood, eBay's got you covered. From mirrors to headlights, find all the right parts by entering your reg. And if it doesn't fit, eBay Assured Fit means you can return it for free. That's our money-back pledge. Find the right part at the right price with eBay Assured Fit. Exclusions apply. See ebay.co.uk for more details.
Ian Payne on LBC.
We are once more having a discussion about race, and I've always thought if you're going to have a discussion about it, it's not worth doing if you're not going to be honest about it. So you have to say things that are happening, whether they're uncomfortable or not. And I suggest, but I did more than suggest, because I've heard it so many times, and you only have to look at certain cultural references to know that the N-word has been reclaimed by some, not all, of people of African heritage, or whatever the phrase is that you would like to use. Peters, though, has got very angry with me, saying, I cannot tell you how offensive your statement of saying the N-word has been reclaimed by people of African or Caribbean descent is. Stick to what you know and do not assume. That word will never be reclaimed. Do not say that again. All right, Peter, fine. I'll leave it out there for people to make up their own minds. It's been reclaimed in a way in which it's now part of the vernacular of certain people, particularly with, say, the music industry or whatever. I don't think I'm being deluded in saying that. But if you want to disagree with me, please do so, and we'll have a proper debate about it if you want to come on. Ian says, racism simmers, waiting for a chance to boil. Those who agitate aren't always white. I hope my mixed-race son will see its end, says Ian in Surbiton. Who's this texter? I was called names like Frozen Chip at school because I was white, and when working in England I got told I was the English disease due to being Welsh. It's really not the same. I'm sorry, it's not the same being called Taff or White Chip or... I mean, come on. JM says, perhaps the P word was painful to the Prime Minister because he wasn't from Pakistan. It doesn't matter. If you're you could be from Yemen, you'd still be called the P word by certain people. And Inita says, stop being ridiculous. Listen to the programme. I'm in despair. There's still dislike and distaste towards people of colour and other differences. Do you hear the experience of football players being racially abused when the game isn't going their way? And this is from the fans of the players' own team. We're talking about this because the Prime Minister's given an interview to ITV. He says he understands racism because it's a type of wound that only people who've been subjected to it can understand. And he said that his brother and his siblings were subjected to the P word, and he said he never forget it, and he understands how racism can sting. But then he added something that was, and I don't know whether he really believes this or not. Anyway, I sometimes think he does window dressing, but he doesn't deep down believe it. But the Prime Minister added that he was proud that the UK had changed since he grew up in the 1980s and 1990s, and said he didn't believe the type of racism he'd encountered during his youth would be faced by his own children today. I would beg to differ, because on the basis of what I've heard so far today and listening to Sangeeta and her heartfelt plea at the top of her hour yesterday when she was talking about this, she's sort of saying, how dare he, a man of colour, say this when she and all other people know that this thing is still going on. And people are even in the school playground called the P word. Daniel's in Harrow. Is the Prime Minister delusional or not?
The Prime Minister is absolutely delusional. It's another classic example of political posturing. That's all it is. It's just trying to appeal to the moderates who are maybe trying to vote Conservative and say, hey, we're not a party who are racist. The way I see it, the big question that needs to be asked in this country particularly, which is massively multicultural, and I embrace that and I welcome that, why are people so racist against each other? And that is the big question.
Go on then. Tell me what your view on that is, because that is the big question.
That is the big question. I will say it's the big question that politicians are afraid to address. My idea, and this applies to every single one of us, white, black, brown, everyone is because the way people conduct themselves.
Get ready to turn right.
Sorry, the way people conduct themselves.
Like what? Give me an example.
Well, unfortunately, you've got certain types of behaviour that are seen by certain groups of people. Now, I'll take white people, for example. When you've got Tommy Robinson and his thugs going up to the cenotaph and behaving the way they did, all that does is it reinforces prejudice.
Yeah,
and that's white people I'm talking about there. And all of the groups are guilty of it, unfortunately. I would say I don't want to call it racism. I've certainly been a victim of prejudice since I moved back to this country about 5 years ago.
If you don't mind me asking, are you black, white, brown? What are you?
White.
We're all
I'm
white.
white, and I have a shaved head and I have tattoos. But I am in no way or shape racist.
What kind of racism do you suffer from then?
I've experienced, I drive in America. I've experienced animosity, prejudice, comments, etc., largely because of the way I live. And that's the
Sorry, I don't understand.
And then turn right.
Obviously, without swearing, what sort of offensive language is used towards you then?
Well, so I was trying to let a guy into a car wash the other day, and he looked at me and he immediately called me a skinhead.
What? Because he thought you were queue jumping for the car wash?
Yeah, he called me a skinhead.
All right.
Now, to me.
Could a young black man ever be a skinhead?
Absolutely.
Right.
I know black people who were skinheads back in the day. Absolutely. Really? Absolutely.
Right. Okay, fair enough. Daniel, thank you. See what I mean? It's an interesting discussion. I just hope that we're not on our way to becoming American. No offence to Americans, but anyone who's lived in America for any period of time, wherever you are in America, I mean, it's just depressing. It's like, I look at someone like, at least Biden's trying to heal stuff. You may think he's doddery and old and can't do it. You see that the turnout for the was it South Carolina election yesterday, the turnout by Democrats to vote was 4%. 4% turned out to endorse Joe Biden. Isn't that amazing? He had a 96 approval rate because all 4% voted for him.
Begitu saya Yudi, pamit undur diri dulu. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dadah.